An anti-government demonstration outside Iran's embassy in London escalated dramatically on Friday after a protester climbed the building's balcony, removed the Islamic Republic's flag, and replaced it with Iran's pre-1979 lion and sun emblem, a symbol associated with the country's former monarchy. Videos circulating on social media showed the individual scaling the embassy facade in the upscale Kensington area as a crowd of demonstrators gathered below, cheering while the historic emblem was hoisted in place of the current regime's flag. London's Metropolitan Police said officers were deployed to the scene and made 2 arrests. According to police, one individual was detained on suspicion of aggravated trespass and assault on an emergency worker, while another was arrested for aggravated trespass. Authorities said they were also seeking a 3rd person in connection with trespassing at the embassy. It was not immediately clear whether the protester who removed the flag was among those taken into custody. Iran's embassy in London did not respond to media requests for comment, according to Fox News. The embassy incident comes against the backdrop of the most intense wave of unrest Iran has seen in years. Protests that began in late December over economic hardship, including inflation, unemployment, and currency devaluation, have spread across the country and evolved into a direct challenge to Iran's clerical leadership. Demonstrations have been reported in multiple cities, while solidarity protests have also taken place abroad, including in Paris, Berlin, and Washington, D.C., according to media reports. British-Iranian journalist Patkin Azarmer told Fox News Digital that global attention plays a critical role for protesters inside Iran. He contrasted the current moment with the 2009 Green Movement, when demonstrators questioned whether the Obama administration supported them. What a contrast to Obama's time, when protesters were chanting, "Obama, are you with us or with them?" Azarmer said. He added that international backing, whether from governments or grassroots movements, boosts morale among demonstrators, while questioning why Western activist groups have been relatively quiet. Where are the Western activist protesters, he asked. According to the US-based human rights activists news agency, Hrana, at least 72 people have been killed and more than 2,300 detained since the protests began. Iranian authorities have not released official casualty figures and have imposed restrictions on internet access nationwide, complicating independent verification. Some protesters inside Iran have been heard chanting in support of the country's former monarch, Shah Mohammad Reza Pahlavi, who was overthrown in the 1979 Islamic Revolution. His son, Reza Pahlavi, has publicly urged Iranians to continue demonstrating against the current leadership. U.S. President Donald Trump said on Friday that Washington was closely monitoring developments in Iran. Trump said, "Iran is in big trouble," according to Fox News, adding that protesters appeared to be gaining ground in areas previously thought secure. He also posted about the same on Truth Social, sharing Fox News article. He warned that the United States would respond forcefully if Iranian authorities resorted to mass violence against civilians. "We'll be hitting them very hard where it hurts," Trump said, while ruling out the deployment of ground troops. Despite those warnings, Iranian officials have signaled a tough response. The Associated Press reported that Supreme Leader Ayatollah Khamenei has indicated an impending crackdown. Iran's Attorney General, Mohammad Muwahhedi Azad, escalated rhetoric further, warning via state television that anyone participating or assisting protests would be treated as an enemy of God, a charge that can carry the death penalty. He instructed prosecutors to move swiftly and show no leniency in pursuing cases against those accused of fueling unrest. For a second straight week, Iran's streets are burning. Newly surfaced footage shows rioters torching vehicles, hurling petrol bombs, and clashing with security forces across multiple cities. Authorities say the unrest is being driven by organized sabotage, not protest. And now, foreign pressure is colliding with domestic fury. Newly circulated footage shows scenes of chaos across Iran. Protesters are seen setting fire to mopeds and vehicles, smashing public infrastructure, and battling security forces. The videos, filmed in multiple cities, could not be independently verified, but the images are stark. What began as demonstrations has, in parts, morphed into full-scale rioting. Iranian officials say unrest has been reported in several major cities, with attacks targeting streets, buildings, and public property. Authorities describe coordinated vandalism rather than spontaneous protest. As tensions stretch into a second week, many warn the threat is no longer isolated, it is nationwide. State media reports a major security operation is underway. According to Tasnim news agency, more than 200 alleged terrorist organizers have been detained. Authorities claim large caches of weapons were seized, firearms, ammunition, grenades, and Molotov cocktails. Officials say these arrests are already reducing the intensity of the unrest. As Iran moves to reassert control, a message from Washington lands with force. The U.S. president writes that Iran is looking at freedom perhaps never before, adding that America stands ready to help. No details, no conditions, but the timing is unmistakable, coming amid days of fire, arrests, and bloodshed. Just a day earlier, Iran's supreme leader broke his silence. Ayatollah Ali Khamenei accused the U.S. president of arrogance and bloodshed, claiming his hands are stained with Iranian blood. He warned that history shows rulers are often overthrown at the height of their power, framing the unrest as foreign-driven chaos, not a domestic revolt. Iran's leadership insists the unrest is being manipulated from abroad. Washington signals moral support without spelling out action. And on the streets, the violence continues, even as security forces tighten their grip. The question now is whether this confrontation burns out or explodes further.
Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, has reportedly ordered the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps onto its highest state of alert as nationwide protests entered their 14th day. Senior Iranian officials told The Telegraph the level of readiness now exceeds that seen during last year's conflict with Israel. According to officials, Khamenei has placed his trust squarely in the IRGC, known as the Sepah, rather than the regular army or police. They say he believes the risk of defections within the guards is almost non-existent, unlike other security forces that have fractured during past unrest. One official described the moment bluntly: Khamenei has placed his fate in the hands of the IRGC. The guards are not just a military force, they are deeply embedded in Iran's economy, intelligence apparatus, and political system, making them the regime's most loyal pillar. Iranian officials also confirmed that underground missile cities have been activated. These fortified weapons complexes are designed to deter or respond to foreign threats, signaling that Tehran is preparing for both internal instability and external escalation at the same time. Officials dismissed reports that Khamenei might flee Iran if the situation worsens. One senior source said the supreme leader would not leave Tehran even if B-52s were flying overhead, underscoring the message that retreat is not being considered. A day earlier, Khamenei addressed the nation in a rare and unusually personal speech. He accused U.S. President Donald Trump of arrogance and bloodshed, claiming his hands were stained with the blood of more than 1,000 Iranians. He warned that history shows rulers are often overthrown at the height of their power. Khamenei also turned his fire inward, accusing protesters of destroying their own cities to please the president of another country. He framed the unrest as foreign-driven chaos, alleging that vandals were acting in service of U.S. interests, not Iran's people.
Last night in Tehran and a few other places, people came and did damage to their own buildings, ruining their own streets, in order to make the president of another country happy. Because he said that he would come to their aid, he should pay attention to the state of his own country instead. His hands are stained with the blood of more than 1,000 Iranians who were killed in the 12-day war, Israel-Iran conflict in 2025. His hand is stained with the blood of Iranians. Then he says, "I'm a supporter of the Iranian people." And people who are not thinking and have no sense listen to him and believe him, setting fire to bins, to please him.